Hey everyone, welcome to What a Week, another edition here. Chris McKinnon with John Keller. And man, what a week.
What a week.
We've named this appropriately.
It's unbelievable. Have we had one Deadsville week in, what have we been doing this, couple years now?
Yeah, I don't
think so.
No,
it never stops. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Let's just jump right into this this week. So we've had the Democratic debate.
Yeah.
Liz Warren, Bernie Sanders going into it had this back and forth whether or not he said to her a woman couldn't win the presidency in 2018. And at the end of the debate, Hot Mike caught their interaction kind of confronting him over it. What do you think, A, about the situation, but then B, who wins politically out of this between the two of them?
Well, so keep in mind there's a little backdrop here. The broader macro backdrop is that there's only room for one of them in the end, okay? And they're both feeding out of the same trough. So that was always going to be a source of conflict. Then the Sanders campaign has been stepping up its bad-mouthing of her in recent weeks, including most notably this call script that volunteers were reading, which included a disparaging Warren as well. She just attracts wealthy people with high levels of education, and we Democrats can't win unless they pull in more than that. And Bernie can, she can't. So that ticked off the Warren people. And then, all of a sudden, fortuitously for her, this anecdote pops out about Bernie saying this very impolitic thing about how a woman can't win. First of all, I don't know who's telling the truth, but my guess is she is, that he did say that. It sounds like the kind of thing he would say in a candid, just the two of us conversation when they're both neither had gotten into the race yet. Okay, so you say, look, this time around a woman can't win, okay? So anyway, we get into the debate, and Warren clearly was ready with this very, I thought, well-calculated pivot from the back and forth to this broader question of electability. It raised a question of Sanders' credibility, which is something Warren has struggled with. So she kind of redirected that. But then, so that was all calculated, but the moment at the end, after the debate, I think that was the real deal. She was ticked, and she let him know it, and he looked a little bit freaked out to me. Who does it help? Who does it hurt? Keep in mind, in Iowa, these caucuses are the strangest thing you've ever seen. People show up at the local library, and they all go to their corners. Sanders supporters, you're over there. Warren supporters over there. If a candidate doesn't get 15% on the first round of voting, they're out. And their supporters are urged to disperse they can go home, or they can join another campaign. Well, there's Amy Klobuchar, sitting at 7% in Iowa. And if her supporters are in the room and they get knocked out, who are they going to go to? They might go to Biden or Buttigieg, but maybe they'll go over to Liz Warren, particularly after what happened in the debate. So I think potentially it helps Warren a lot in Iowa in what's a really close race.
All right, we'll see what happens
there.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Around the corner.
If I'm wrong, just forget I said anything.
Okay, we'll do. Also, the impeachment trial is set to begin. The articles have been delivered over to the Senate, and now we're really ramping this thing up. Thoughts on this? I mean, the president has been making comments all along, and I thought his kind of off-the-cuff thing, I need good lawyers, oh, whatever, I've been dealing with this my whole life. It's kind of a weird thing to say going into a Senate impeachment trial.
Well, look, the Democrats, I think, are getting what they want out of this. They're spooking Donald Trump. And they're gaslighting him badly. Nancy Pelosi has really run rings around the White House and Mitch McConnell on the sort of tactics here. And then they'll go into this trial. We know what the outcome is going to be, barring some unforeseen mega bombshell. But in the meantime, negative information about the Ukraine scandal, about the president's personal involvement in it, continues to come out. So you're looking at 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks more of intense media focus on a story that the White House would prefer not be the focus, okay? Now, it also hurts Democrats in the sense that 4 Democratic senators, 3 of whom, Klobuchar, Sanders, and Warren, are still in the mix, are chained to their desks for 6 days a week during the duration of the trial. They can't get out and campaign. But look, in the end, come November, it'll be a distant memory. I think it just bakes into the cake more negatives about Donald Trump. And it helps excite the Democratic base while also exciting the hardcore Trump supporters who are furious about this.
What about some of the down ticket, some of the senators that could be squeezed here, Republicans in tough states to win?
Yeah.
I mean, could this affect their races, you think?
Absolutely it could. It depends on how the presidential race shapes up. If for some reason it breaks in favor of Donald Trump and they voted to keep him in, then fine, they're looking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's another reason why Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats have been pushing this so hard. It has the potential to backwash toxic waste onto some of these wobbly Republicans.
All right, let's talk back here in the state. A budget watchdog group saying that the state could see a $900 million deficit for the next year. I know you've kind of been on this beat about what's going to happen here, potential budget shortfalls and whatnot, with the casinos not performing the way that they originally thought they would be. So what does this mean going forward, do you think?
Well, look, if that's the size of the budget hole, the gap between what they projected we'd take in and what the state has budgeted to spend, $1 billion is a small fraction of the overall state budget. They have plenty of money in the rainy day fund. They can plug that hole. However, it's a red flag. It's a flashing light on your dashboard. And with major new investments approved in public education, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars each year over the next several years, and clamor building for major new spending on transportation and the possibility of tax hikes. If there's one thing legislators on Beacon Hill have proven unwilling to do over the last 30 years, it's raise taxes in general, and specifically on an economy where there are warning lights flashing on the dashboard. So it could have a major impact on those other areas of policy in the coming year.
So even if the money's pledged, I mean, we might have to see other spending cuts in other areas of government.
Exactly. Or, pressure for tax hikes, and that's a kind of tension in an election year on Beacon Hill that they don't like.
Yeah, they want to steer clear of that.
You bet.
Hot button issue there. All right, John, appreciate your insight as always.
Have a great weekend.
I will. A little bit of snow on Saturday, so maybe we'll hit the slopes.
And let's all pause on Monday to reflect on the profound legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, John. Appreciate it, and thanks for checking in. As always, we'll see you next time here on What a Week.